It has been 15 years since I've played golf. I grew up playing golf, loved it from 5 years old to about 17, where I last played in high school, but I'm about 33 now, and I've not really touched a set of sticks since then. Now, this channel is gonna be experimental. We're gonna do some fun stuff here, but essentially I wanted to get back into the game of golf, and I wanted to do it as quickly as possible. So my goal is to get as good as I possibly can, as quickly as I possibly can, just like everyone else wants to. Now, of course, this could go down in flames, but that's the goal. I have this wild dream of becoming Scratch within 2 years. I was never Scratch, so that's kind of a wild stretch. Probably the best I ever got was around shooting, like 80 to 84 somewhat consistently. So it's a big ask. My body's gone through lots of changes. I'm much bigger now and a lot less flexible. So it's gonna be interesting. But I wanted to get on Chronicle, create a community with you all in order to follow along with this. Now, something that is interesting about me is I actually work full-time in coffee and have a coffee YouTube that has a decent amount of subscribers, close to 400,000 at the time of this video. I'm known as a coffee weirdo, all right? And I would love to share some of that passion with you. So in every video, I'm planning on brewing up some coffee, talking about that, and maybe for those of you who are passionate about coffee or enjoy drinking coffee, that could be interesting. But I am very, very into coffee, and we're going to allow that onto this channel. So get ready for some caffeinated sidebars. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time. So in today's video, it's gonna be simple. This is like the introduction to the channel, Lance Hedrick Golf, or the Coffee Golfer. And we're gonna stretch, we're gonna hit some balls, we're gonna note what's kind of going on. Now, I'm particularly interested, I'm here at Fino Golf Club in Porto, Portugal, where I live, and they have simulators. When I was playing in high school, I didn't really ever use a simulator. They weren't that common at the time. And so I have no idea on ball speed, club speed, all these things, these metrics that people now trace. I don't know where I'm gonna be sitting at, so we're gonna check that out in today's video. We're gonna look at just how poorly my shot has turned out to be after 15 years. We're gonna see how inconsistent I am, how much I toe the ball, shake the ball. Whatever's gonna happen, we're gonna find out today. And then we're going to work like dogs to get a little less bad, all right? Now, a good thing is I have enough confidence for me, you, and your mother. So hopefully that means we're gonna get a little bit better, but confidence can be the greatest killer in golf as well. So let's go ahead, stretch a bit. We'll talk a little bit more later, but I'm gonna stretch, hit some balls, see how bad this is, see how many curse words we can throw out there from missed hits, and yeah, we'll go from there. So stay tuned as we get back into golf. So I had to get some clubs, scoured used websites here in Portugal, and ended up finding some good deals. I got a 2013 set of the Ping SS5s, blue dot. And the reason I got these is they had an extra stiff shaft already. I don't know the swing speed, but I know I swing fast, so I went ahead and bought these at 250 euros for the full set. And they were in decent condition, decent enough. I found a couple of wedges, Titleist Vokey 58 degree, and then a Cleveland 54 degree. I got them both for around 100, 120 euros combined, and they're in quite nice shape. I found the greatest find ever, which was this DF Odyssey putter. It was brand new. I found it on a used website, but it was brand new with plastic saw on the head. Got that for 100 euros. Crazy. And I got a 5-wood, the TaylorMade QI10. And now I got this. It was the only stiff shafted option I could find genuinely for any 5-wood in the whole country, so I just had to hop on it. There's a 3-wood I've been trying to get. The seller hasn't been responding, but it has an extra stiff shaft. And then I did find a TaylorMade QI10 driver head that I bought for about 200 euros, and I have a shaft coming in that I'll put on that, but right now I don't have a driver or a 3-wood. That's what we're working on. Also, I got the golf bag for like 30 euros or something. It's in good condition, but bargain hunting, baby. You know how bad I'm about to hit these balls. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on clubs, but hopefully in a few months, we'll be back to decent form, maybe back to where we were 15 years ago before we start getting real freaking good. That's what we got going. So let's take one of these sticks and start warming up. I guess we'll start with a little 58, just little wedge shots. Now, for some of you that haven't maybe took a month or 3 months or 6 months off, you know how weird your body feels when you get back to swinging. Now, take those months and go to 15 years. All right, this is going to feel so foreign. Thankfully, I do remember playing for 12 years. I had that swing kind of instilled in me, so I remember the mechanics that my body should do. It's whether or not my body will do it. Just kind of let that club fly through. I remember my papaw. Growing up, I played golf with my dad, and my papaw, that's my dad's dad. he would always tell me, you know, hold the club like it's a live bird you don't want to kill. So I got to get that. And he would always say, arms of spaghetti, oily wrists and arms of spaghetti. Okay, that's going to be pretty. Just kidding. All right. Oh my goodness. All right, let's take some chip shots, just see what happens. Thin, baby. That's what we like to see. All right, we probably have the club face open or something. Oh, almost towed it. Let's take the swing up a little bit, bring the hips in, going to the right, but at least we're catching it somewhat full. Let's bring the hips in a little bit more and chunked it. Let's just go for a full swing here for funsies. We're just quickly warming up. No need to waste time. Not terrible. That's not terrible. I just want to get through some of these clubs. All right, let's just hop to a pitch and wedge. All right, we're going to do just a little half swing. Thin it, of course, but dead straight. That'll play. You know, I'm so curious what I'll shoot. Later this week, from the filming of this video, we're going to film my first 18 holes in forever. And if I break 100, I'm going to be so excited. That was flush. That was flush. That was a little half swing. Almost towed it, but didn't all the way. A little chunky. 95 meter, that's super short. Let's actually put a little muscle behind this. And that one was 92.6 miles per hour, 122 meter carry. You know, this has given me some hope, actually, that I can swing full and actually make some contact. I went hard at that and completely chunked it, took all the club speed and ball speed away. Ball speed was less than club speed. Woo! All right, one more, then we'll go up to a 7, just to see what's going on. Let's see here. Bring those hips through. Chunked again. But hey, not the worst thing in the world. I mean, again, we're on day 1. We got a long way to go. Like I said, I want 2 years to get there, and I'm just going to be sore for a bit. It's going to be okay, though. We're going to get on the course, learn to score. Got to putt again. It's going to be a long road, and I hope that you all enjoy coming with me. Now, I've got some, like I said earlier, I've got some exciting things. I have a pro that I'll be playing with in Rome on the Ryder Cup course from 2023. I've been chatting with George Bryan from the Bryan Bros about potentially doing something. He's big into coffee, and I'm hooking him up with coffee gear, so that's going to be a fun thing. Before getting ahead of myself, I've got to play better than Bob does sports, okay? That's the long and short of it. Now, what got me back into golf? I have massive ADHD, it's insane. And my hyperfixation tendency is a bit absurd. Like 2 years ago, I got really into chess, and within 6 months, I went from never playing to a 1500 ELO, if anyone follows that. And I've been working with an international master in Romania because I get so addicted to things. And then with golf, it happened literally 3 weeks ago. I saw a video of a guy I didn't know at the time, Grant Horvat, playing with Phil Mickelson. And watching them play, I just had a lot of fun because growing up, I watched Phil Mickelson. I watched a ton of golf, and Phil was one of my favorites, of course, you know, lefty. I loved him. I loved the Big Easy, Ernie Els. I loved, obviously, Tiger. I loved watching Sergio Garcia and all these people from the early 2000s when I was kind of a teenager. And watching this new style of golf on YouTube just got me so excited. Seeing Bryson DeChambeau embracing it, seeing the Bryan Bros and the humor between the brothers there, it was all so exciting, and I was like, you know, we do have, there's a couple of YouTubes where it's kind of an invite you along to get better. But I thought, you know, it's kind of unique. I've not played in 15 years. I was okay back then. And anyway, I think it'll be a fun place that as you're working on your golf game, you can follow along, you know, drink some coffee with me, and hopefully have some cool experiences. So let's stop yapping and hit the 7-iron. I don't even need practice swing. We're just gonna swing. We're gonna see what happens. Pulled the mess out of it, hit it thin, but we're getting there. 155 carry. That was hit flush. That was hit flush. 92 club speed. I mean, I can swing faster. No real need to right now because I'm just trying to hit flush. But I know y'all want to see faster, so let's go faster. 96.5 club speed, 130 ball speed, 165 meter carry. Now, something I did note is these clubs, because you may be saying, oh, I hit my 7-iron that far, but your club speed's higher. This club set is a lot more lofted than everything else. So for instance, on a 7-iron alone, my 7-iron is 37 degrees. This is like someone else's 8-iron. That's what I mean. So my 7's like an 8. So really, when you're looking at the loft, just take that in consideration. This is more so like an 8 as far as the loft goes. But let's take one more and we'll go to a 5-iron and see just how poorly I hit that. And I still missed hit it, but 92. On the toe again. One more, I lied. Y'all know how that is on the range. You're like, all right, we gotta get one good one before we leave. All right. There, that was flush. That was flush. Oh, baby. Yeah, we'll end on that one. We'll end on that one. Oh, my Lanta. That was flushed. All right, let's do 5-iron. Yeah, again, no practice swing. We're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna go for it. And almost missed the ball. Yeah, towed the mess out of it. That's obviously a common trend. Towing it right off to the right, toe hooking it, towing it all day. Let's go a little closer to the ball. Maybe that'll help me not tow it. Arms of spaghetti, oily wrists. Oh my God. 5-iron's hard right now. I got to get at least one good shot with it so we can get some decent numbers on it, understand where I'm hitting it. And then I guess we'll try the 5-wood, though I'm very scared of it. Head still. Well, I hit it flush, but I pulled it. I just wanted to hit it flush, and I did. Woo! 1.5 smash factor. All right, 182.5 meter carry, but that's 10 miles an hour slower than I would probably swing it typically, but I hit it solid, so that's what I care about. Let's get another solid one. That one felt so nice. Nope. Miss hit again, but at least that's a playable ball. 104 club speed, that was a bit faster. 174, not even as good as the much slower speed because I had a much better contact. Last one, whatever happens here happens. And it was terrible, but I said last one, and I'm annoyed. All right, this is gonna be interesting. And when I say interesting, I mean really bad. Honestly, I'm kind of happy I don't have a driver today because I think that would just be embarrassing. Woof. All right. This is gonna be bad. I know I'm gonna tow the shnikey out of it. I didn't tow it, but did not hit it well. I feel like I hit that one well. 109 club speed, 154 ball speed. 212 meter carry. I don't know if that's good. I never played a 5-wood before, but you know what? I'm not even gonna hit that again. That one was good. I'm not hitting that again. All right. But now, we gotta brew some coffee. Now, as I said, I'm a coffee fanatic, and in every video I wanna kind of do some sort of coffee brew with you. It'll be different every time, different coffee, different brew style, whether it's espresso, filter, whatever. And the one, I'm kind of playing with this idea where on the 8th hole, I kind of want to caffeinate, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see how that all works out. But today, I'll be brewing on a V60, which is just my kind of go-to. I have a coffee from Prodigal Coffee out in Boulder, Colorado. This is the Lenarco Rodriguez Red Gesha. It's a washed process. So if y'all aren't familiar with those terms, you can feel free to check out my normal YouTube, my coffee YouTube, and learn some about coffee. But this is going to be a treat. For those of you who don't know, because you're going to be learning coffee whether you like it or not, coffee is the most complex beverage on the planet. Now you might be thinking, no, that's wine. No, it's actually not wine. Wine releases about 250 volatile or aromatics during the yeast process, the yeast and fermentation process. Coffee, however, releases over 900, or at least at the last count that I saw, which has been essentially increasing ever since they started really taking a look at coffee. So it's a very complex beverage, very tasty. When you get a really high quality one, kind of like with steak, you want to roast it lightly. Kind of like when you have a super high quality steak, you want it to be medium rare or even rare. So with coffee, if you're drinking super dark roasted coffees that you're buying from a supermarket, no shade, but that's typically lower quality, kind of like if you go to a Golden Corral and you get a steak, they're gonna do it well done because they're hiding the low quality. And so, again, no shade that. People drink what you want to drink, you know what I'm saying? But I like the finer things in life. No, coffee's my life, my job, everything, so I take it a bit seriously. This smells like cherries. This is nice. All right. Let me go get some water. All right, let's get this brew started. So first I'm just pouring a bloom. What this does, for those of you curious, is this is essentially filling the grounds with water to eject the carbon dioxide. The way that you're actually able to get coffee to your final cup is through diffusion. So in order to affect diffusion, we've got to kick out the CO2 because it's holding us back. So that's what we're kind of doing in the bloom, getting the ground saturated, ready to give us some of that tasty, tasty goodness. So we're gonna let that sit for a bit, allow the gases to escape, allow it to sit there and just saturate more and more. Obviously some liquid has dropped through. Now listen, I know that you need your coffee when you go to the golf course, all right? And why not enjoy it more than just tossing a lot of cream and sugar in there? Get that nice coffee brewing going, you know what I mean? We gotta get some good stuff. Good coffee for good golf. All right, now I'm just gonna pour all the way to my final weight. Get that nice concentration I like, and we are right there, perfection. All right. So now we're just gonna let it drain. Easy peasy. I'll be using this cup. This is a cup I did in collaboration with an Australian company and in collaboration with a Japanese company. This is from a cherry tree out in Japan, and it's coated in urugushu lacquer. You gotta love it. You know, I was really into bourbon for a while and got super into it. I mean, I was collecting bottles and well, I say collecting, I was drinking a lot of them, but I was really into things like the Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition, really into things like, you know, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection had dozens of each of those. And now my obsession is coffee. That's just the way the world works, right? We go from obsession to obsession. This one's lasted a bit longer though. And I'm going to assume golf is going to be a bug that I'll live with for a long time. But anyway, let's get this going. All right, I'm gonna pour right here. And there we have our coffee. That is some very sweet cherry, a little bit of almond, like toasted almond, refined sugar. I mean, it is sweet. There's a little bit of florals on there, but my oh my, delicious coffee. Oh. Well, that is it for the first video on this channel, The Coffee Golfer. I hope that you enjoyed. Of course, this is just kind of the setup to what we're gonna be doing out on the course, out around the world, traveling, playing with people, and hopefully getting better. Again, my lofty goal is scratching 2 years. We're gonna see if we can achieve that. I have probably too much confidence that I can. We're gonna get some coaches here and there. We're gonna get fitted for clubs at some point, but hop along for the journey, buckle up, because it's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, as we get to know each other, things will happen, so get ready. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a decent day of golf, and cheers.